Hey there, friends. What is your most favorite spiritual discipline? Is it prayer, or reading the Bible, or worship, or maybe receiving the Lord's Supper, or maybe it's works of mercy? Well, for me, it's reading the Bible because that's where I feel that God speaks to me the most. However, there's a new way that I've been finding that God speaks to me, and that's through the practice of listening prayer. Now, if I got to be honest, when I used to think about prayer, I didn't really think about listening at all because it was all just me talking a whole lot. And it was a one-sided conversation. I mean, can you imagine what it'd be like if your relationship with your spouse or your best friend, you couldn't get a word in? Well, that's how my prayer life was with God. Now, with that in mind, I want you to hear this verse, this teaching about prayer from Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 through 8. He says, "And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like the pagans, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him." Now, to be sure, Jesus, is inviting us to pray using our words, to talk to God, to ask Him, to make requests to Him and to share our heart with God. But did you also hear the call there for us to listen in prayer? Jesus says for us to go to our rooms and to shut the door, to get quiet. And He says, don't babble on and on with a lot of words. And I can be guilty of that all the time in prayer. But Jesus says that we don't necessarily need to do that because God knows what we need before we even ask Him. What I hear Jesus calling me to do here is to get quiet and get ready to hear what God would want to say to me. Now, me and my wife, we practiced listening prayer a couple of months ago. We were kind of at odds at something important, a decision that we had to make regarding my oldest daughter's education. One of us wanted to continue homeschooling our daughter, which we're doing right now, and the other one wanted to send our daughter to public school. And so we weren't in agreement. We were not on the same page, and we wanted to be. And so my wife suggested that we try listening prayer. And we were going to Galveston that weekend, just the two of us, a little getaway. And so we devoted that morning to going to the beach and just doing a prayer walk. And so if you know in Galveston, the beach is kind of divided, at least where the seawall is, it's divided by jetties. And so we got out, we started at one jetty, and we just prayed and we asked God to speak to us about this issue. And we walked about a mile, just listening as we walked. And when we reached the next jetty, we shared what we sensed God saying to us. And my wife went first. My wife said, what I heard God say to me was to basically agree with what you heard God say to you. Now, me and my wife, when we make decisions, we make them together. We practice mutual submission. And when she said that, I was just laughing because what God told me was basically to do what she wanted to do all along. And so she got her way. But more importantly than that, I think God got His way. As I've been learning to listen more in prayer, listening prayer has become my new favorite practice to connect with God. And if it's something that you've never experienced, I want to invite you to try it. And it's really simple to do. To start, find a place that is quiet. Maybe take a walk. Get in your closet, shut the door if that's what you have to do. But just to get comfortable and ask God a question. Maybe it has something to do with the problem that you're facing, or maybe it's a question that's, a issue that's weighing on your heart, or a decision that's weighing on your heart. So ask the question and then just wait. In fact, that is exactly what Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, "For everyone who asks receives, whoever seeks finds, and whoever knocks, the door will be opened." Friends, I hope you'll give listening prayer a try because it's really been a blessing to me and my wife as we do that together. Take care.